Hello everyone, welcome back. Savage is here, coming back with a new part of What If Deku Was Like Toji, and let's just get right into it. After Midori makes his way inside the UA, he have already filled up the necessary papers for allowing his worm to enter because it's his backpack and he needs a support item, if you would say. It's like the example that I could give for that is like Aoyama filling the papers for his own little belt that around his belly. Anyway, when Midori enters, he took the regular exam and then proceeded for the area for President Mike to explain about their, physical test, explaining about the 1, 2, and 3 pointers and everything. And then one of the students stand up telling President Mike that he missed one of the robots. President Mike immediately told him that that robot is just an obstacle called the 0 pointer. And then he points on Midori saying, "And you there, who allowed you to bring your pets inside? If you will not gonna take this exam seriously, then I very highly recommend you just walking out of the door." As Midori looks into Ida, but he just doesn't answer him. As he said, "Didn't you hear me? Don't ignore me like that." As President Mike just explained to him that it's alright, that kid filled the necessary papers for a support item he has, and, just like that, you're kind of just... whatever, just sit down, please. As immediately Ida just sits down after apologizing and everything, everyone makes their way into their fake cities. And Midori and Baku are not in the same fake city. Midori is in fake city A and Baku is in fake city B. As Baku was a bit excited to try and beat up Midoriya there, but I guess, on next time, I guess. Midoriya was also a bit excited for that, but what can you do about it? Anyway, all of them just make their way into their fake cities, while Midori is standing in front of the gates. He stretches his body a lot, a very ridiculous amount of stretching, in a way that is a bit unhumanly plausible to some people, putting his hands behind his back and stretching them, twisting his neck and legs and his back a bit, cracking his bones, getting ready, as Midori is like, "Alright, this will be fun." As while that's happening, President Mike waiting, saying, "Alright, are you ready, students?" As the gates open, and immediately, before anybody could see it, Midori disappears out of everyone's eyesight, while immediately Ida said, "Hey, that student, that's not allowed. He should be immediately disqualified, right?" As President Mike said, "What are you talking about? That kid has the right idea. Villains won't wait for you to attack them, so go on there. There is no countdown in real battles, is there?" As immediately everybody starts rushing in, but when they start rushing in, then immediately stopped in their tracks for the amount of robots piling up in front of them. Oil splashed around the place like it's blood, and it's just a ridiculous amount of severed limbs. As immediately Ida said, "What happened here? It's been only like 10 seconds. As everybody is standing in awe, they see on the top of the pile of robots somebody standing with a worm around his body and covered in oil, while holding a long sword. As Midoriya gives a smirk before immediately disappearing out of their eyesight again. All the students getting back to try and find robots that are not cut down to pieces, and Midori is just keeping slashing every single robot he sees. And somehow, in some odd way, when the students are trying to search for robots, they see Midori always, in some weird way, finding out the place with the most of them. Midori himself can't explain it, but it's always been a little thing that he can do. He can always, for some weird reason, feel the strongest around the place that he is in. Or at least where the most people are. As Midoriya keeps slashing all the robots that he finds down into pieces, nothing of them is left but just crumbled bodies. And in the camera's room, Principal Nezu is watching this saying, "That student is certainly special, isn't he? I wonder how is he finding out where the robot? Is it because of his enhanced senses?" As Aizawa's like, He must have some sort of enhancing quirk. But I never saw one on that scale before. As Principal Nezo said, well, let's see for ourselves as he bring his file on the screen, and it says Hizuku Midoriya, age and blood type, and then quirkless. As all the teachers there, and of course the people that give points for the students for heroic actions and all, are all simply shocked. Quirkless? How could he possibly be quirkless? As I was like, is this a mistake? There must be a mistake in his papers, right? As Principal Nezo said, nope, there is not a mistake. I remember he did give an application for a support item he has. I guess that worm is that support item. Well, would you look at that? I guess quirks aren't everything after all. He must have trained really crazy until he got into this point. As All Might is watching this through the, well, monitor too. Surprising thing. The kid is just like he said he would. He said he'll gonna come here, but to do something like that, what kind of person is he? What kind of training did he put himself through until he got into this point? While down there, Midoriya is slashing another robot and goes like, and that should be enough. Phew. A lot of robots, hey? As his worm immediately spits out a water bottle for Midoriya to grab and drink a bit, saying, thanks, Tori. As he looks behind of him just to see the amount of oil that he left, and he said, damn it. Now my mother will gonna kill me for the amount of oil that I ruined my clothes. As he splashed, just dropped the rest of the water bottle on his face so he can cool himself down and also just get the oil off of him. As while Midoriya is standing, suddenly he gets a weird shiver down his spine as he smirks and looks behind of him, rushing to where he feels it. There's something big around here, and he needs to see for himself. As when he finally arrives on the place, he see a giant robot. As Midoriya said, is this your pointer? As he smiles, saying, so that's what they meant by an obstacle. Damn it. As he clenched his fist, saying, even though that I want to fight him so bad, don't think I can take him on yet. As then he was about to run away, but then he heard the screams of help. And when Midoriya looks back, he see a girl trapped under a rubble. So he said, damn it. As he immediately rushes in with his katana in hand, slashed the rubble off of the girl. As immediately he just grabs her after putting the katana back inside his worm, as he was about to be stepped on by the robots, but immediately he lifts her up and runs out of there so quickly before the robots manage to step on them. As Midoriya looks into the girl and puts her down, saying, you okay? As she like, what the, how did you? As he just puts her on the ground, saying, just stay here. As Midoriya said, well, I guess I'm gonna have to fight this in the end. As he was about to pull out his katana again, but then the microphone, they hear President Mike's voice saying, done, over, finished. Everyone stop. Congratulations for everybody, and I wish you all good luck. The exam is over. You're gonna receive your letters 1 week from now, so I hope for everybody's good luck. As the zero pointer stops and Midoriya, I guess that was, damn it, I was a bit excited to fight that thing. As then he looks back into the girl and said, you okay? As she said, yeah, my leg hurts. As he see it's bleeding, as Midoriya said, well, hold on, I believe I have some bandages. And as then he hear a sound of a lady saying, no need for that, dear. Please allow me. As the lady just gives a kiss for the little girl on the floor. And then she said, there you go. Dearie, you okay now? As she said, thanks, but when the girl looks around, she doesn't see that kid with the purple worm anywhere. He disappeared the moment that she turned her head around. No one of them sees the kid anywhere. They were going to talk to him about how the hell did he do all of that, and none of the examiners see him anywhere. Just disappeared into thin air. Not even Ida managed to see him, let alone feel him. How could he do such a thing? How fast is he, and what kind of quirk he has, everybody wonders. But regardless of which, Midoriya leaves back into his home. And after that, the next week, he gets a message in the mail. He opens it and reveals that he is, well, been accepted into UA. After which he immediately just throws it into the garbage can, and then he celebrates with his mother a bit. He also delivered the good news for his old blacksmith in the forest, as Midoriya told him, "Guess what, old man? I got accepted." As the old man gets excited. After all, this means that it's just one step away for Midoriya to use his weapons and fight against real villains. And in this kind of scenario, he actually gave Midoriya a little gift to celebrate his acceptance to UA, as he said, "You asked me for this one for a while. It was my hardest work, yet the finest yet." As he pulls off the covering, as Midoriya sees a tiny blade with tiny dagger with two blades. As Midoriya said, "What is this?" As the old man said, "It's what you asked for. It's a blade that can cut through all quirks. One who I've put my blood, tears, and sweat into. I've been making this for about 2 years now. And I now tell you that it's finished. I blessed it as much as I could. So no quirk can stand in its way. It can slash through anybody's abilities and cancel them. Of course, that includes me and everybody else with a quirk. No one can hold it except you. For that, if they hold it, their quirk will be simply cancelled." As Midoriya said, "So that's amazing." As the old man said, "Exactly, so amazing. A blade with the power to cut through all powers. A blade that have the ability to cut even through the gates of heaven. It's only appropriate to name it the Inverted Spear of Heaven." As Midoriya said, "The Inverted Spear. Like that name." As Midoriya puts this inside his worm, and Izuku thanks the old man for, making this for him. But the old man thanks Midoriya, because of Midoriya, he got his ambitions back, he got his motivation, and he can't wait to see Midoriya use those weapons on the big screen. After which, Midoriya returns home, and next day he goes to UA with his uniform on and of course his worm. He doesn't go anywhere without his worm, if that wasn't already obvious. Regardless of which, he makes his way into UA, enters through the door, and immediately looks into the door of the class as he said, "There must be giants in here, huh? Though I guess it's understandable, gigantification quirks are quite common. I just hope I don't find that asshole here." As he opens the door, and he looks to see Bakugo being talked by Ida, while Ida telling him to get his feet off of the table, and then Bakugo just tell him to shut it up and shove a stick up his ass, or something like that. While immediately Ida noticed Midoriya. After a second, he looks and rushes to Midoriya while he said, "You!" As he said, "Your name is Izuku Midoriya, right?" As Izuku said, "No." As he said, "What do you mean, no? It's you, the kid with the worm." As Midoriya said, "I'm sure you mistaken me for somebody else." As Midoriya walks past Ida. But after which, Bog just looks into Midoriya, he's like, as Midoriya looks into him and said, "Hey there, Katsuki," as he just takes a seat behind Bakugo. And Bakugo just gets angry, wondering in his head, how the hell did he manage to get here? As after which, Midoriya just sit down and, just wait for the class to start. While Ida's still trying to talk to Midoriya, and Midoriya's like, "Listen, if you have something to tell me, I'm not really interested. Just let me leave and go." As Ida said, "But I wanted to apologize for insulting you in the exam." As Midoriya said, "You want to apologize?" As Ida said, "Yes." As he bowed down and said, You managed to figure out this stuff I didn't figure out about the rescue points." As Izuku said, "Oh, rescue points?" As Midoriya remembers in his head, "Oh yeah, All Might did speak about that." I guess I wasn't focusing. All what I wanted to hear is just if I was accepted or not, so I skipped to the final part of the message. As Midori said, yeah, I kind of figured it out. I mean, it's a hero's school, isn't it? As Ida said, yes, indeed. And I want to apologize again for, insulting you and telling you to leave the exam area. As Midori said, don't worry about it. Just don't do it again. As Ida said, my name is Tenya Ida, by the way. As he held his hand in front of Midori to shake, and quite frankly, Midori isn't used to being treated nice. As Izuku just shook his hand and said, Izuku Midoriya. And yes, I am that kid. As when Ida shakes Midoriya's hand, he noticed a bit of scars on his hands, but at the same time his grip is terrifyingly strong. After which, Ida just goes back to his seat. A girl walks through the door and noticed Midori, but before she could talk to him, immediately, Aizawa walks in, telling everybody that he is their homeroom teacher and everything, and telling them to put on these uniforms and meet him outside. And right now in the changing room, Izuku just takes off his shirt, and when he does, a kid with red hair notices all the scars on Midoriya's back and arms and everything, and the amount of muscle he has. He's like, yo man, what kind of training are you going through? As Izuku said, oh, I train alone in the forest, nothing much. As he said, you do that all by yourself? That's so manly, dude. My name is Kirishima. Who are you? As Midoriya said, Izuku Midoriya. As Kirishima said, nice meeting you. As he just held his hand in front of him for a fist bump, and Midoriya just, fist bumped him and said, you need to show me some of that training you do. Alright? After this, as Midoriya said, I would rather not. As he said, alright, I understand secrets of, a man's secrets. Alright, meet you outside then. As he just walks away, while Midoriya is surprised. That kid was surprisingly nice. But he said in his mind, I don't feel that they'll be as much nice when they figure out I'm quirkless. Well, now I wonder, how long will it take Baku before he starts running his mouth? Anyway, he walks outside with everybody else. Midoriya has his arm around his body as all. As Aizawa looks into the students, and he looks into the informations he has on his tablet. The person that took first place was Izuku Midoriya with quite the points in the entrance exam. But then when he looked into Midoriya, he immediately said, Katsuki Baku, come here and throw this ball with your quirk. As Baku tells him about, alright, fine, whatever. As he walks in and just grabs the ball and throw it, getting 708 meters. Everybody starts saying that this will be fun. Aizawa threatens to expel whoever gets last place, and then the rest of the exams proceed. The run race, the little 50-meter dash, Izuku managed to actually take it in quite a significant quick time. 1.5 seconds. As immediately after that, the next test, which is the grip test, which he got a very ridiculous high number on, and some other tests, the jump test and all of those tests, he really beaten them up. After all, those were basically just day-to-day trainings for him at this point. And finally, in the ball throw, when Aizawa called on Midoriya, Izuku steps into the ring and grabs that ball, as Aizawa said, I want you to throw it with your quirk. As Midoriya said, alright. As immediately, Midoriya was about to throw the ball, but as he throws it, something grabs into his arm, stopping him. As when he looks behind, he sees Aizawa with his scarf holding Midoriya's arm, as he said, didn't you hear what I said? Throw it with your quirk. As immediately Midoriya is looking into Aizawa, and Aizawa just ties him up with the rest of his bandages and pulls him closer, saying, or can't you? As Midoriya said, what are you talking about? As Aizawa said, I know who you are. I read your files. I read everybody's files, so I know exactly what you are. As Midoriya said, yeah, and what am I? As Aizawa said, stop acting like stupid. You are a quirkless kid entered UA. Now I wonder, how did you do that? As Izuku said, as everybody of the rest of the students hearing that saying, quirkless? Wait, he's quirkless? As Aizawa said, Now listen here. I saw how you were fighting in the entrance exam, but hero work is not as easy as fighting robots. And this job, we are gonna battle against people who are far stronger than us, against impossible odds and trying to save people. What can you do in all of that mess? Heroes need a quirk to battle villains, and a quirkless person like you will just get in the way. As Aizawa said, so why don't you do me a favor and leave my class immediately? I don't want to be rude and expel you for no reason. And that's why I told everybody that we're gonna do this little we're gonna expel somebody if he fails this exam. But you annoys me because you're quirkless. I'm not racist against quirkless people or anything, but I'm trying to tell you something that you're gonna need to understand. If you stay here, you're just signing up your own death. As Midoriya said, shut up. As Aizawa said, huh? As Midoriya started trying to break out of his mind, saying, do you know how many people told me the same exact thing? As he started trying to resist his bindings even more, while Midoriya said, every day of my life people told me that I'm nothing more than a waste of space, a dead weight, as he continued to try and break out of Aizawa's cloth, while Midoriya said, and every day those words just get harsher and harsher until I finally got fed up with it and decided to feed them their own words. As he started breaking even more, with Aizawa's cloth actually start to be ripped apart, while he's surprised in his head saying, he's actually ripping apart my capturing cloth? How could he do that? This thing is so strong, nobody can do that. As immediately Midoriya continues saying, so if you want to expel me, go ahead and do it. I dare you. If you do that, I'll just gonna go into the next hero school. And if the next hero school doesn't accept me, then I'll go for the next one. And the next one, and the next one, until I find one that'll accept me. Worst case scenario, I'm just gonna run down the streets like a vigilante. I'm not gonna be stopped by you or anybody. I'll be a hero in my own way. I don't care if everybody here has a quirk and if I'm quirkless, and so be it what. When I become a hero, all of the looks on each one of your faces will be priceless when you realize that the quirkless kid managed to win against you all and take the top spot. As while Aizawa seeing his cloth start ripping apart, immediately he let go of Midoriya before he actually, well, caused it to split. As he said, alright then show me what you got. Show me that you're not here because it's a mistake. As Midoriya grabs the ball and goes back into the ring. As he immediately throws the ball, he got 500 meters and 518 meters, 0.6. As, well, it's lower than Baku by like 100 meters, but hey, still something. And Midoriya returns to stand, but a bit away from the rest of the class. As Aizawa, when he looks into that, he said, he did not get as much as Bakugo, but he threw the ball so hard. This was even higher than the longest throw in human history. He just broke a world record for throwing a ball with no quirk. Maybe this kid isn't as half bad as I might think. As they continue the rest of the exams, and in the end, Aizawa looked into everybody and showed them the, well, results. Midoriya was actually in the top 5, in 4th place. And Aizawa said, oh, and about the expelling one of you students, that was just a little trick I pulled. As Midoriya just said, obviously. Anyway, he told everybody to, well, go back home. That's the rest of today's little exam. As when Aizawa started walking away, the rest of the students immediately surround Midoriya, and Kirishima was the first to talk, saying, wait, you're quirkless, man? As Izuku said, yeah, so what about it? As he walks away. As Kirishima said, wait, hold on, where are you going? That's so awesome! How did you manage to do that? As Midoriya said, what are you talking about? As he said, yeah, like winning? Getting in the UA, that's supposed to be amazing. Man, I thought I would fail with my not so flashy quirk. It's useful, but nothing too much. But you managed to get in with no quirk? That's so metal as hell, man! As immediately another girl said, yeah, and what is that thing on your neck? It's quite gross, but kind of, ugly cute, I guess? As they, class start talking with Midoriya, also Raka tried to talk with Midoriya and Ida. Izuku just doesn't understand it. He was expecting all of them to hate him immediately the moment that they hear he is quirkless, but yet they're treating him nicely and also calling him amazing for making it into UA while being quirkless. In the end, Midori just leaves the place telling them that he is late on his, to return home and everything. He just returns home, goes on his bed and puts his worm around his body as he's sleeping, looking into the ceiling, saying, they weren't as half bad as I imagined them to be. Who knows? Maybe for a change I'll actually be able to make a friend. As he goes to sleep, and this one can leave it off, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, tell me what you think about this part and what do you think will gonna happen in the next part.